In this lesson, we will introduce the XScan. We will also learn about how to manage views and use functionalities in XScan. In the previous lesson, we learned about standard modules. Now, to scan the SAP objects which are not standardized, we have to scan those SAP objects and create modules using the Tosca XScan functionality. Let's familiarize ourselves with XScan before creating your first module. Tricentis Tosca XScan can scan various applications and supports almost all major technologies. To be able to scan the SAP window, the program needs to be opened on the relevant page before starting Tosca's XScan. It is important to make sure that your system display resolution is set to 100%. It is also important to make sure that the browser zoom is set to 100% before starting to scan, especially if scanning applications like SAP Fiori. In the module section, right-click on the module folder where you wish to create the module and select Scan, Application. The XScan window will now open and show all applications that you currently have open on the desktop. Choose the SAP application and click Scan. Now, the XScan window will be, by default, opened in its basic view. Click on the objects on the SAP application page which you want to automate. All these fields will be automatically selected in XScan. Now, we will look at the advanced view of XScan. By clicking on the Advanced button, you can access the advanced view of the XScan. In this advanced view, you will have direct access to all the technical information and controls found on the SAP application page. The Select on Screen button allows you to click on controls on the SAP application screen. This is very similar to what the basic view allows you to do. However, here you additionally have the technical information of the whole page available. You can turn off the Select on Screen function by clicking again on the Select on Screen button. Remember, Select on Screen does not deselect automatically. You can switch back to the basic view anytime by clicking on the Basic button on top of XScan. Note that once the basic view is chosen, the Select on Screen mode is enabled by default. Now we will cover the condensed view of XScan. By clicking on Condensed, you can access the condensed view of XScan. In the condensed view, the XScan window minimizes and pins itself to the right-hand side of the screen, allowing you full access to the SAP page where you will select the controls you need. The Basic button will send you back to the basic view of XScan. The Finish Screen button will save your work as a module in the Modules section of Tosca. On the top left of both Basic and Advanced views, you will find the Save button. The Save button will save the current set of selected controls as a new module in the Modules section of Tosca Commander. The difference between the Save and Finish Screen buttons is that by clicking on Finish Screen, the XScan will save and create a new module. The XScan will be reset to its starting position with no scanned controls. Once this is done, it will give you the option of scanning the SAP application page again. This is useful when you want to create different modules for different parts of the same SAP application page or the next page, without having to restart the XScan each time. The Save button will not clear any information from the XScan, giving you the opportunity to keep working on the controls you have already selected. Press the Close button to close the XScan. Now, what if you're not sure which objects you selected on your SAP application? Here, you can use the option Highlight Selection. The Highlight Selection option highlights the controls selected in XScan in your SAP application page. This is the reverse of the Select on Screen that we used before. If you know the technical properties of the control, you're able to find it in the tree, and it will show the location on the SAP application page. This is particularly useful if there are a number of controls with similar or unclear names. You can select them in the tree to see which of the controls it relates to in your SUT. That's your system under test.